Last Brainstream of 2025. And this actually works perfectly with exactly what I want to talk about today. A couple days ago, someone came to me with a problem that they just mentioned that their fridge was broken and they're going to get a technician. They now have to deal with technician and all that. And in the middle of the conversation, I actually sent them a video that I had made about 7 years ago, titled How to Fix Your Fridge in 2025 using Siri and AR. So I thought it was something interesting to talk about today. And also, I thought it was perfect because 7 or 8 years ago, I created this series. Um, what was this, 2018, 2017? I started this small video series. It was called 2025. And the point behind it was to showcase how augmented reality and artificial intelligence will completely change our lives. And I chose the year 2025 because it sounded science fiction, but also it was much closer than we think. And here we are, the last day of 2025. And I thought it was very funny or very interesting to at least talk about this. I'm going to link this video uh, in the comments. But it was very interesting because I used a lot of techniques or a lot of concepts behind that video, which should be day to day, or today it's very, very easy to do that. But also, what I want to talk about is that shift that sometimes you need to have. Um, Also, I think there's a conversation to be had here of looking at AI and humans together to solve a problem rather than this. What usually happens is this fear that AI is going to take over the world and destroy us and take all our jobs, things like that. Um, but briefly, I'm just gonna summarize this video. It was a shot in my apartment back then. And basically you see me walking up to a fridge and visually you see that on the fridge it says it's listening, it's identifying the model, and I'm basically saying this fridge is broken, can you please help me out? And straight away you see visually, but also audibly, um, it's not as the generative AI voices today are a lot more natural sounding. But basically, I was using this concept of speaking to Siri, and we've yet to see that yet. But hopefully, Siri 2.0 or Siri GPT, whatever they call it, will be coming out soon. But the concept is it says, okay, I'm listening now, I'm identifying the model. This could be a few use cases, and then it proceeds to basically identify what they could be, and let's try fix this together. So it looked into somewhere, said, hey, it could be this, guided me using some visuals with augmented reality. I end up fixing the fridge, and then, as that video goes, you don't have to deal with technician and all those things. The the theory behind it and why it works so well is there's two big points behind it of the concept of the video. Number one is that the internet has a wealth of information. Now, you can go and find a YouTube video that might fix this fridge, maybe not, but more likely there's some manual somewhere in the web that's got this specific information that could potentially help us to go. So instead of going through a search back then, of going through Google, trying to figure out the model number, um, go into some obscure manual and try turn the pages on some PDF viewer and try figure it out and try understand, is this my model, is this not, and going through it, and then having a long process for that. And usually in that world, you just would default and say, listen, this is too difficult, I need to call an expert. Um, and the second thing was, usually an expert, when they come, it's not necessarily just the visual that they look at, it's multimodal, it's all the senses, which is perfectly great for augmented reality, but also AI, where this is also something that people have to get used to, that AI is powerful when it goes multimodal. And so here I especially showcase the idea of listening, because it's like a mechanic or any expert, a lot of the times they diagnose through actual sound before they get there. They before even looking at something, obviously the visuals will help them, like what model of car, what model of fridge, things like that, trying to see if there's dust, there's a burnt part in the circuitry, whatever it is. Obviously, visuals are a massive part, but sound is something that most of us don't really think is one of the big helps. And an expert can usually hear something and go, that hum should not be there, or I hear a clicking sound, or as how it works. What I'm hearing is um, basically usually. um, Now I'm like, should I start again? But no, these ones are not starting. what I'm saying is that sound is a very big part of how to identify it. And ironically, so what I did actually is we went through ChatGPT, and I wasn't there, so I said like, give me a picture of either the fridge or give me the model number, tell me something. So obviously in this video, everything's together. It's multimodal. It's using its conversation. It's using its vision to identify the model, to identify the make, the fridge. When you open up the fridge, you're able to see dials, things like that. While actually start going for this brain stream, I just wanted to open up the video so I could see it. But I checked two other things. There's a new video, I think a few weeks or a few months ago, showing this kind of concept in a notebook, LLM kind of AI video, walking through the whole story of like, oh, how to fix it instead of having to deal with all technicians. And there was another one where it was using a user was using Gemini to identify to identify how to fix a filter, and also to purchase the new piece. And you obviously can see the multimodal there. He's having a conversation, but also the through the video input, the Gemini is able to identify the model. It's able to identify where the filter is inside. It says open up. It showcases the filter. Then it looks also at his page of the model number, and he asks, "Can I help me get the filter?" It gets the model straight from the paper or from the image it's seeing, and automatically says, "Yes, here it is. This is where you can go." So again, that conversation moving through that video was, I think, taken actually very, very recently, 2025, ironically. So this video is not just about this fridge specifically. It's more about that concept of those videos of the 2025 series that I made, and trying to showcase day-to-day scenarios that I thought would completely change and completely improve as we come in. Ironically, actually, when we looked into when I did the ChatGPT for helping to fix the fridge, I'd used images, static images, not as good, but I used images. And also one of the things that it said is sound is actually very important, that a good technician or an expert will usually use the sound to hear the hum of the motor, does it sound right, clicking, things like that. So I thought that was also very interesting to point out. But we are very close. I mean, that Gemini video showed that. I would like to see a Gemini video showcasing the solution. And actually, maybe if I have time, I might go and use Gemini to see if we can get any more information from chat. Because with ChatGPT, it was literally just text and images. Um, but I want to go I want to go wider, and I think also it's interesting because this is probably like a year wrap up of brain streams. Again, these brain streams are concepts of 10 minutes, no editing, no nothing like that. Just a conversation of, things that have happened or things I want to share. And this is something that happens to me actually quite often. Someone will come to me with a conversation that we've had 5, 10, 15 years ago, and usually follow up with, "Oh, I thought that was crazy then, but now look what's happening. This is crazy. We spoke about this." Um, and I mean, changes are happening incredibly fast. I think that concept series was super fun. Obviously, it's behind it's in the past now because we are about to, in the next couple hours, finish 2025. Um, but yeah, that was the whole point of the series, to showcase these concepts that some of them may have come, some of them we're already using day to day, and some of them are still to be used. There's many more concepts that I wanted to build, but just didn't have time to work through the editing and the VFX and to come up with the concept and shooting and everything like that with day to day. Um, but that ultimately, those 2025 videos, those concepts ended up becoming the podcast, which went through a few iterations of naming, but now it's called The Eighth. Um, Maybe we'll make an episode on the naming and why that is. And then inside of eight are these brain streams. They're kind of bonus episodes. They're 10-minute longs where the actual episodes are also a day in the life, but they usually take one concept and we go very, very far. So the concept of this videos was to show and help and educate, and also show people what's the possibility, and getting people excited about the future. Um, it- Most of these videos were ahead of their time, and 2025 ideal time. But I could only fit a certain amount into a video, even if it was 20 seconds or 30 seconds. It took a long time because I wasn't an expert, and also I didn't have generative AI to make videos or images back then. But that ultimately became the podcast, where I could share a lot more inside of 20 minutes, 40 minutes, and having guests and things like that. So if you are interested, I highly recommend look for the episodes that have the episode numbers. But these brain streams are those bonus clips in between. My time is nearly up, so I will leave you that. Have a happy new year. See you in 2026. Maybe we'll start a new thing. But until then, see you guys in the future.